This is Roger Struckoff with Syscon TV at day 3 of Cloud Expo, Things Expo, and the DevOps Summit. I'm sitting here with Mark Levy from Serena Systems, and he is a DevOps guy. In fact, you're going to be on our DevOps panel later today, which is very nice. I think that the topic of interest to you isn't really like DevOps per se, but how it relates to the business and doing things for the business.
Right. So, again, Mark Levy, Product Marketing, Serena Software. Really happy to be here. I think, it's great that we're going to be talking about DevOps today, and sort of people, I get customers talking to us, say, well, why DevOps? What will DevOps do to help us? And ultimately, what I say is it's really about the business. The business is under pressure today. Competitively in the marketplace to respond to the expectations of the customer, and they're being driven. The business is driving IT, and the problem is that IT really isn't responding fast enough. We had development organizations have instituted agile methodologies, which are great. The problem is that on the operations side, they're still trying to just mitigate risk, and we need to get agility through the entire system. I think DevOps is a movement to culturally change behaviors of the silos that are in place, the silos of specialty. And at Serena Software, we're here to help our customers solve that problem. They're coming to us and asking us, how can we develop and deploy software better and faster to meet the expectations of their customer?
How do you, I think a lot of organizations, I've seen this notion this week of cowboys and bureaucrats. The dev guys being the cowboys, the ops guys being the bureaucrats. You're trying to get the two to meet in service of the business.
Yeah.
The words come down that you have to be agile. You got to be fast. Yeah. But you don't want to cut corners at the expense of speed. So how do you sort of square all those circles at Serena Software?
Very good question. First, you got to realize what motivates these teams, and it's pretty interesting. So development is paid to change, right? They are paid to change, to innovate. You want to encourage that. And then on the other side, ops is really paid to mitigate risk. Okay, and then sometimes those are opposites. So one is we need to remove those barriers of incentive and have a common goal. Now the interesting thing is you mentioned, well, how can you be fast and keep the quality? So that's a good question, and actually, manufacturing has solved that a long time ago, especially in the lean movement and some of the patterns and practices that DevOps is borrowing from system thinking and lean, the idea of smaller batch loads. So the idea is to deploy more frequently, smaller batch loads. This whole concept of continuous delivery being always having a deliverable piece that you can deliver to the customer. These are the patterns and practices that customers, when implemented, can move faster and develop faster with higher quality. It's proven. There's a great survey, Puppet Labs. Gene Kim has come out a yearly survey, and this year they've helped quantify, and they've said that it's interesting because they tied organizations that automate, that version control, that actually implement continuous delivery. The higher percentage of companies that do that have better profit margins and are a much more competitive business.
I'm familiar with that report, and it actually ties in with a question I had. What about the smart aleck that says, you want to mitigate risk, but your biggest risk is if you don't move fast enough, if you're not agile, that's your risk. How do you handle that?
Well, that's interesting too, because and some of this is culturally and organizationally you have to have, because there's companies, and it comes back to the business. There's two things you could look at. You could say, as a business, and businesses are either afraid of sinking the ship or missing the boat. Okay, and you get organizations that are just afraid of of sinking the ship. And what happens is they tend to lose competitive advantage. And so you can't miss the boat nowadays, really. When you look at, in DevOps, they use these examples called the unicorns, of course, companies like Amazon and Netflix, and how agile Amazon is transitioning from industry to industry, and how they can deploy features quickly and get feedback. And the key is to get feedback fast. Okay, that's the big, and feedback fast is a great thing, because what you want to do is you want to fail fast. Okay, you want to test your features fast. The more you can do that, the more you can innovate. So that's a key point.
And mitigating risk doesn't mean being risk averse, and that's the thing. But there are some companies that are going to be that way. I think at the top I may have said Serena Systems. I'm not sure if I did, which was wrong.
That's okay.
It's not okay. It's Serena Software. Right. And the thing is, when you're approaching customers or they're approaching you, and you're looking around, why do people do business with Serena Software?
Well, so we've been in business for over 30 years, actually, and we help companies. We have over 2,500 enterprises. We help develop and build and deploy better software. That's what our focus has been. We've always focused on this thing called change, configuration, and deploy and release. And so that's our focus. We have a lot of expertise and solutions in that area, and that's our whole mission in life.
We have been sitting for a few minutes here with Mark Levy from Serena Software. For those of you who are watching this, by the time they're watching it, we should also have posted the power panel on DevOps that's being held here this week in Santa Clara. So you can look for that as well. It's led by Andy Mann, and Mark's going to be part of it. So thank you much for joining us, and thank you for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckhoff.